Hello, Liberty University students. I want to talk about Roger Williams. I chose to do my research on the minister Roger Williams, and he was a very interesting topic. And the sources I used were primary and secondary. I have a copy of John Winthrop's journal. He was the governor of Massachusetts, a friend of Williams, and somewhat of a rival when Williams turns down the offer from Boston to become a minister in her church. I also have some works from Roger Williams. Includes a lot of his works in his discussion with John Cotton over theological matters. I picked up a book that he wrote on Native American languages. It's called A Key into the Native Language of America. And it's a wonderful book. He's very talented in languages. And he had 32 chapters. There's a section on culture. And he's got all these vocabulary comparisons to the English language. And it would really be able to serve as a textbook if you were interested in studying that particular language, like you would have a textbook for French or Spanish. In The Bloody Tenet, I have that as well. So I had about 500 pages of Williams' writings. And then Winthrop's journal is considerable too. It's essentially a history of New England. And that really helped my research. And the secondary sources that I was able to find were plentiful. Most of them are modern, 1980 to present. Some of the older ones were still very useful. There were some outstanding scholars in the 40s and 50s that wrote about Roger Williams. And the one thing that I found that was very consistent with Williams was he was true to his faith. I would argue that his biblical knowledge was tremendous, and he made every move in his life, it appears, based on his belief and his trust in God. So when he turned down the Boston job, it's over a matter of religious differences he had with the Boston church. They didn't make a clean break from England. When he went to Salem, things are going pretty well. Eventually, he chose to leave there. And he was very strong-willed and opinionated. And he had opinions on essentially everything. But a lot of his opinion is based on the Bible and his faith. So when he questioned Indian land rights, that the British were trampling on them, he thought that was a sin. So his religion and God led him in these paths, and it ends up working well for Roger Williams because the men in Parliament were interested in treating the Native Americans fairly. And his book was very popular in London among the common people and the members of Parliament. And Williams had allies as well, but his moral compass was always his religion and his trust in God. And things end up working out well for Williams. He had a couple scary moments. He got in trouble with the authorities in Boston, and he was in danger of being sent back to London and possibly facing the wrath of the church there. And that could have ended very poorly in the Tower of London. But Williams was able to use his tremendous skills in writing to argue his points across, and his political abilities. He had allies. But one thing that Williams had to rely on, which he wasn't very strong at, was patience. Because when he arrived back in London, the English Civil War was taking the primary focus from a lot of people. and he had to be patient and wait, but he was able to do that. And he came back to North America with a patent, and a new colony will be formed called Rhode Island via his Providence plantations due to his numerous abilities and skills. So it was a very interesting subject, and I learned a lot, and I had a good semester, and I hope you guys enjoyed your research as well. Thank you.